So there's just one more thing that I wanted to talk about, which doesn't really have much to do with time not existing, but it is more directly has more directly to deal with James Moreland's videos. I want to say, if you get around to watching this, I know it's been a while since you've been on, but no, I really like the Rubik's Cube paradox that you explained. The idea that if your future self gives you a Rubik's Cube for you to give yourself when you become your future self, that Rubik's Cube comes from nowhere, has no origin. So, paradox. It's been a while since I've heard of someone speak of a temporal paradox that doesn't either have to do with grandfathers or linguistics. But as an answer to it, I think it was David Lewis, but it might have been Ted Sider. But one of them mentioned in one of their papers briefly that it might be the case that all incidents of time travel are necessarily instances of that paradox, if you call it a paradox. And yeah, these are the guys that basically they believe in a one-dimensional deterministic theory of time. So yeah, everything that happened in the past already happened, even if you go to the past and experience it again as the present. But yeah, the way that he explains it is that it's no more strange than the existence of the universe itself. Generally, people either believe that the universe either started randomly, or that it is itself one big loop, and so there doesn't seem to be any reason to say that it couldn't have little loops inside it, which just generate the same way that the universe did, I guess. And so that matter would circulate. It would just circulate in a smaller amount of time than the rest of the universe. He didn't go much more into it than that, but I think he was right that if you believe that in a one-dimensional deterministic theory of time, or in a non-theory deterministic theory of time, I do believe that he was right that all instances of time travel would necessarily have to be cases where something gets generated out of nothing. Well, not necessarily all, but if you believe in causality at all, then you'd have to go really far away, either in time or in space, in order for the movement that comes from you going back in time to not have some effect on you on when you stepped into the time machine in the first place. And even the most minute change, if it comes back through the time machine, is the exact same circumstance as the Rubik's Cube. It would end up being a loop of causality which has no origin. Of course, if you believe in a circular timeline, that's not too much of a problem, but that's one problem that T4, Taylor's theory of time travel, would solve a bit more easily than the other two. I know, yeah, you haven't been on in a while, but I would really like to hear what you think about my theory of time. It's nice to see someone who is actually able to explain to me the whole argument that time doesn't exist. But yeah, get back to me if you can.